The air in my apartment was thick with the scent of expensive paper and the nervous energy of impending celebration. I smoothed my hand over the stack of invitations for the engagement party Noah insisted on. He wanted it big, a chance to gather everyone we loved, formally merge our lives before the wedding. It felt right, like a solid foundation after years of feeling like my own ground was unstable. I worked at a decent media company now, a steady job, but it wasn't the future I'd originally poured my heart into 8 years ago. Still, Noah was my rock. He understood my complicated history with my family, how the fallout from my brother Ethan's actions had splintered things. He promised to always put me first, to protect my peace. And right now, planning this party with him felt like building a new, unshakable world. I remembered telling Noah, explicitly, the one non-negotiable: Ethan and my parents were not to be invited. Not after what they did. Not after years of gaslighting and pretending their actions hadn't crushed a fundamental part of me. Noah had held my hands, looked me in the eye, and promised, "Your peace is my priority, Riley. I would never do anything to jeopardize that. They won't be there." His words had felt like a bomb. My phone buzzed on the counter. A text from an unknown number. Probably a vendor confirming something for the party. I picked it up, already smiling, ready to check another item off my mental list. The message wasn't from a vendor. It was from Ethan. It was a photo. My breath hitched. It showed my mother, father, and Noah sitting together at a table at my parents' favorite restaurant, laughing. Spread out on the table were stacks of my engagement party invitations, address lists, tiny decorative items. The caption below Ethan's text message read, "So excited to celebrate you and Noah, Riley. Great planning session. It's time we all moved on." My hands started shaking. The phone clattered onto the counter. The photo seemed to mock me, their smiling faces a grotesque parody of togetherness. Moved on. 8 years flashed before my eyes. The crushing email about the fellowship withdrawal, the frantic calls proving it wasn't me, Ethan's smirk when I confronted him. "You always get everything, Riley. I just wanted you to know how it feels to lose." My parents' tired sighs. "Oh, Riley, it was so long ago. He was just a kid. Can't you just let it go?" They had buried my dream, dismissed my pain, and now they were colluding with the man I loved to spring a surprise reunion on me at my engagement party. Noah walked in then, carrying a bag of groceries, humming a little tune. His smile was wide and warm. It vanished the moment he saw my face. "Riley? What is it? What's wrong?" My voice was flat, devoid of emotion. "What is this, Noah?" I pushed the phone towards him. He picked it up, his eyes scanning the photo and caption. His face paled. "Oh, that. Riley, I can explain. Can you?" The tremor was starting in my voice now. "Because it looks a lot like you, my mother, and my father were just planning my engagement party. The party where I explicitly told you they were not to be invited." He ran a hand through his hair, avoiding my gaze. "Riley, I know you're upset. But your parents reached out. They were so sincere. They said they miss you, that Ethan regrets it now. They convinced me. They just want to see the family whole again. They said you just need a little push, a little help forgiving. They thought if everyone was just in the same room." "They convinced you?" My voice rose. "They convinced you to ignore my boundaries? To lie to me? To conspire behind my back with the very people who hurt me the most?" "I thought I was helping, Riley. Your mother said you were just stuck, holding on to old grudges. She said this would be good for you, for everyone." He sounded genuinely bewildered, as if my reaction was the illogical one. "Good for me." My parents' favorite phrase for doing exactly what they wanted me to do. Something cold settled in my chest. "Let me see your phone, Noah." "What?" "Your phone. Now." He hesitated for just a second, then handed it over. My birthday was still the password, a detail that now felt like a cruel joke. I went straight to his messages with my mother. Page after page scrolled past. Months of conversations. "Riley is just being stubborn. She needs to see that Ethan has changed. We just need to get them in the same room. The party is the perfect opportunity. Noah, you're such a good man for trying to fix this." Messages with Ethan too. Planning logistics, coordinating arrival times. My stomach turned over and over. They weren't just misguided. This was calculated. I slid my engagement ring off my finger. The diamond felt heavy cold. I placed it carefully on the counter, right next to the invitations for the party that would never happen. "Riley, please," Noah's voice cracked. "Don't do this. It's just a party. It's not just a party, Noah." My voice was quiet, but steady. "It's proof. Proof that you didn't listen. Proof that you didn't protect me. Proof that you chose them over me." I looked at him, really looked at the man I thought I was going to marry. He wasn't my protector. He was another person willing to sacrifice my well-being for the sake of a comfortable narrative, for the sake of family unity, defined by ignoring the truth. "There's nothing to fix here. Not anymore." I walked past him towards the door. The air felt suddenly too close, suffocating. He called my name, but I didn't turn back. The click of the lock behind me felt final. The next few days were a blur of shredded paper and relentless phone calls. Cancelled contracts for the venue, the caterer, the photographer. They littered my apartment floor like fallen leaves. Each one a physical representation of the future that had just evaporated. My phone was a hot wire in my hand, dozens of missed calls from Noah, my mother, my father. Their voicemails piled up, each one a fresh wave of guilt-tripping and manipulation. "Riley, honey, this isn't like you." My mother's voice, syrupy sweet, played from one message. "We raised you to believe in forgiveness. Your grandmother would be so disappointed." Another arrived shortly after. "The whole family is worried. You're letting the past control you. It's not healthy." They spoke as if I was the one creating the problem, not reacting to a deliberate betrayal. My father left a message, trying his casual, man-to-man approach. "Come on, honey. Ethan made a mistake when he was young. God knows I've made plenty. Remember that old car I sold without telling your mother? We all do things we regret. Water under the bridge." The comparison was ludicrous, equating destroying a career opportunity with selling a car. It underscored how little they truly understood, or how little they cared to understand. Amidst the storm, a delivery arrived. A huge bouquet of white lilies from my mother. The card read, "Family forgives. Sweetheart, come home." The cloying, heavy scent of the lilies felt suffocating, a physical manifestation of their suffocating expectations. They joined two other identical bouquets already wilting by the window. She'd clearly sent them before. Just as I was staring at the lilies, wondering if I could actually throw them in the trash, my front door opened. Chloe walked in, armed with bags of takeout and a look that meant business. "All right, spill it." I've been getting cryptic texts from Aunt Carol about family drama, and Noah just blocked me. She took one look at the paper-strewn floor and the lilies. "Oh, okay. Looks like the storm hit." She didn't ask if I was okay. She didn't demand details. She just started putting takeout containers on the counter, her movements calm and purposeful. "Pad CEW, extra spice. And wine. Lots of wine." While she unpacked, my phone buzzed with a text from Noah. "Your parents are really hurting. They don't understand why you're doing this. Why can't you see I was just trying to help?" Below, it was a photo, Noah, my parents, and Ethan squeezed together in a booth at a restaurant, looking like a picture-perfect, concerned family unit. The timestamp showed it was recent. They were still together, strategizing, presenting a united front of grievance against me. My coffee mug slipped from my hand and shattered on the floor, dark liquid spreading across the cancelled contracts, staining the paper. "They're still meeting?" My voice was tight. Chloe didn't miss a beat. "Of course they are. Misery loves company, and manipulative people love an audience for their victim performance." She saw the shattered mug and the spreading coffee. "Leave it. We'll deal with it later. First, we eat. Then we tackle this mess one piece at a time." Later, sitting amongst the scattered paper and the scent of lilies and Thai food, Chloe told me about her aunt who had gone through something similar with her own family years ago. "It was brutal," Chloe admitted. "Took years to feel normal again. Some people, they just can't see beyond their own narrative. Sometimes the only way to protect yourself is to draw a hard line." Her words, coupled with the constant barrage of gaslighting from my family, solidified something within me. I wasn't just canceling a party, I was reclaiming my life. And to do that, I needed to do more than just cut them off. I needed to expose the truth they had buried for so long. Driven by a cold, quiet resolve, I started going through old boxes, digging for the past I had tried so hard to move beyond. I found a faded folder containing the acceptance letter to the prestigious Creative Writing Fellowship, the one that would have funded my independent publishing platform project 8 years ago. The elegant letterhead, the words promising full tuition and a generous stipend based on my proposal and portfolio, it all came rushing back. My fingers traced the date, April 15th, 1 week before everything fell apart. I found the subsequent emails, the one confirming my acceptance, followed by the jarring, confusing email stating my sudden withdrawal from the program. I remembered the frantic calls, my disbelief, the fellowship committee's confusion, because they had no record of me wanting to withdraw. Then, finding the email they had received, sent from my account, clearly a forgery. The trail had been obscured, but I remembered the feeling of crushing defeat, the way my parents had dismissed it as a misunderstanding and discouraged me from pursuing it further. Tucked away in the same box was a beat-up journal, pages dog-eared and tear-stained. My handwriting from back then was furious, messy. Entry after entry chronicled my attempts to figure out what happened, confronting Ethan, his cruel admission, my parents' absolute refusal to hold him accountable. "He's just a kid. You're being too sensitive. Let it go, Riley, it's just money." Reading those words, seeing the raw pain of my 22-year-old self, was like reopening a wound. But there was more. I remembered how, a year or two later, Ethan had started his own small online publishing venture. It hadn't been wildly successful, but it had gotten some local press. Digging deeper into old digital files, I found preliminary proposals and market research he'd done, containing key phrases and concepts almost identical to those in my fellowship proposal. He hadn't just sabotaged my chance. He'd stolen my ideas and used them for his own gain, with our parents cheering him on for being enterprising. The full scope of the betrayal hit me with a sickening force. It wasn't just a moment of youthful malice. It was a calculated act with long-lasting consequences, followed by years of deliberate gaslighting and benefiting from my loss. And Noah had walked right into the middle of it, choosing to side with them rather than protect me. Chloe came in, saw the documents spread out, the journal open. "Whoa. Full excavation. I need to put it all together," I said, my voice hoarse. Everything. How he did it, how they covered for him, how it impacted my life. The financial cost. We spent hours sorting through the papers, the emails, the journal entries. Chloe helped me create a timeline, organize the evidence logically. We even did some quick calculations, estimating the income potential I'd lost, the loans I'd taken out for alternative paths, the opportunities that had been closed to me without that initial boost. The number was substantial, well over the original fellowship amount. It was a tangible representation of the years stolen from me. "This is damning, Riley," Chloe said, looking at the compiled document. "Are you sure you want to send this?" "They tried to bury me," I said, the words firm. "They spent years pretending my pain wasn't real, that what Ethan did didn't matter." Noah joined them. "They want to control the narrative? Not anymore. The truth gets to be heard." With Chloe's help refining the language, making it factual, concise, removing any trace of emotion that could be dismissed as dramatic, I drafted the document. It laid out the facts, the fellowship, the date, the fraudulent withdrawal email, the technical evidence pointing to Ethan, the subsequent use of my ideas, my parents' consistent dismissal of the issue, Noah's recent conspiracy. I attached the key pieces of evidence, scanned emails, the financial calculation, excerpts from my journal showing my attempts to seek accountability at the time. Selecting the recipients felt monumental. My parents, Ethan, Noah, and key members of the extended family who had been part of the "Why Can't You Forgive" chorus, Aunt Sarah, Cousin Lucas, a few others who needed to see the full picture. I even included Noah's parents, just so there was no ambiguity about why the engagement was over. My finger hovered over the send button. This wasn't just an email. It was a grenade. It would shatter the carefully constructed facade of my family. It would force people to pick sides, or at least acknowledge the truth. Taking a deep breath, I pressed send. The fallout was immediate and explosive. My phone blew up within minutes. My father left a furious voicemail, his voice booming. "What in God's name do you think you're doing, Riley? Airing this family's dirty laundry like this? You'll regret this. My mother sent a string of frantic, tearful texts about how I was destroying the family and hurting Ethan. Ethan himself sent a short, angry message calling me pathetic and claiming the document was full of lies. Noah's messages were a mix of desperation and continued self-justification. Riley, this is getting out of hand. You're hurting everyone. Can't we just talk? My parents are asking questions. Speaking of his parents, Eleanor, Noah's mother, sent me a stiffly polite text expressing her concern over the unfortunate situation and hoping it could be resolved privately. It was clear they were choosing discretion over truth and implicitly siding with Noah. Within the wider family, the reaction was mixed but seismic. The group chat my mother used to control the narrative suddenly went silent, then erupted. Some relatives blindly defended my parents and Ethan, calling me dramatic, unhinged, and unforgiving. But then the shift happened. Aunt Sarah called. Her voice was quiet but firm. Riley, I read your email. I believe you. She shared for the first time details of her own similar experiences with manipulation and unfair treatment within the family by those same individuals years ago. They have a pattern, honey, she said. They silence anyone who challenges them. I tried once. It cost me dearly. I stayed quiet for too long. I won't be quiet anymore. Then Lucas messaged me privately. Riley, I got your email. I always felt like something was off the way they talked about you in the fellowship, but I didn't know the details. They did something similar to me years ago with that small inheritance from Grandma Helen, remember? Said it was better managed by Dad. It disappeared. I just backed down. I'm so sorry I didn't see it clearly then. You're not alone in this. Their validation was like a lifeline. It wasn't just in my head. It wasn't just me being dramatic. Other people in the family had experienced similar patterns of control, denial, and dismissal from the same core group. My boss, Mr. Thompson, called unexpectedly. I braced myself for questions about the potential drama spilling over. Instead, he was calm. Riley, I received an email forwarding your document, anonymously. I didn't read the full personal details, but the format, the clarity, the evidence presented, it was incredibly well-organized and professional, even under obviously difficult circumstances. I also saw how you handled the situation the other day when your family showed up at the office. Your composure was remarkable. He paused. Listen, that new initiative we discussed, the one focused on cultivating new creative talent and platforms, I want you to lead it. Full control. Channel this energy. Build something real. The offer felt surreal, a door opening just as so many others had slammed shut. It was the opportunity to build the very thing my family had tried to destroy. The next few days were still tense, but different. The frantic calls from my parents lessened, replaced by colder, angrier texts. Ethan's social media posts subtly hinted at family difficulties, but carefully avoided specifics, trying to manage his image. Noah sent one final long message that was more about his hurt and confusion than any real apology. But within the extended family, the conversations were happening. Aunt Sarah and Lucas were quietly but firmly pushing back against the false narrative. Other relatives were reconsidering their long-held assumptions. My focus narrowed. The new project at work was absorbing. It was exactly the kind of work I'd dreamed of doing with that fellowship. Building, creating, nurturing new voices. It felt like coming home to myself. The irony of building this new creative foundation in the aftermath of the destruction my family wrought was not lost on me. The anniversary celebration for my grandparents was scheduled for that weekend. A large gathering, unavoidable for many. My family would be there. Noah would be there. After everything, I decided I would go. Not to reconcile, but to stand firm in my truth. Chloe insisted on coming with me. I'm not letting you walk into that alone, she said, simple as that. Walking into the venue with Chloe by my side felt like entering a battlefield, albeit one with polite smiles and hors d'oeuvres. The air was thick with unspoken tension. Heads turned. Whispers followed us. My parents were strategically positioned, trying to look calm and dignified, while subtly trying to intercept anyone who approached me. Ethan stood near them, looking uncomfortable. Noah was across the room, watching me. My mother immediately zeroed in on me, her smile tight. "Riley, sweetheart, we need to talk." She started to guide me towards a quiet corner. "There's nothing to talk about, Mother," I said, my voice clear enough for those nearby to hear, but not overly loud. I didn't pull away physically, but I held my ground. Chloe stood close beside me, a silent, formidable presence. My father stepped in, trying his reasonable businessman tone. "Riley, this is a family celebration. Let's not make a scene. We can discuss your grievances later, privately." "My grievances are documented," I replied calmly, meeting his gaze. "You and everyone else here who received my email know the facts. This isn't about discussion anymore. It's about boundaries." Ethan finally spoke, his voice strained. "Riley, come on. This is crazy. Just forgive and forget." "Forgive? Forget." I finally looked at him directly. "Forget that you stole years of my life and career? Forget that you and our parents lied and manipulated for a decade? Forget that Noah helped plan an ambush?" I didn't raise my voice, but each word landed with the weight of the evidence I had compiled. "No, I won't forget, and I won't pretend it didn't happen." Noah approached, looking pained. "Riley, please. Can we just talk? Just us?" "There is no us anymore, Noah." My voice was soft, final. "You chose their version of the truth over mine. You broke the only boundary I had. That is not something I can forgive." My mother's face was red with suppressed rage, her smile gone. "How dare you speak to us this way? After everything we've done for you." "You didn't do things for me," I stated, my voice steady. "You did what was convenient for you. You protected Ethan, you preserved your image, and you dismissed my pain. I won't live like that anymore." I looked around at the faces watching us, some horrified, some understanding, some merely curious. The truth is out there. Now, I am choosing to live my life based on that truth. I took Chloe's arm. "We're leaving." As we walked away, I could hear my mother's hushed, furious voice, my father trying to calm her, Ethan muttering denials. I didn't look back. Stepping out of the venue, the night air felt crisp and clean. The weeks that followed were a period of intense focus. I poured myself into the new project at work. It was challenging, demanding, and incredibly rewarding. Building something new from the ground up on my own terms felt incredibly empowering. The design for the platform, the strategies for nurturing new talent, they felt like the true realization of that lost fellowship dream. The contact from my core family dwindled. The occasional text from my mother, less demanding, more passive-aggressive. Ethan's online presence became more guarded. Noah stopped trying to contact me after a final, unsuccessful attempt to leave flowers at my office. Chloe had intercepted them, delivering them back to his address with a curt note. Eleanor sent a brief, cold email stating they respected my decision and wishing me well. My relationships with Aunt Sarah and Lucas deepened. They became my touchstones, validating my experiences and sharing stories that filled in missing pieces of the family history, confirming the long-standing pattern of manipulation and denial. They were the family I chose. There were still moments of sadness, grief for the family I thought I had, for the future with Noah that wouldn't happen. But it was no longer consuming. It was a quiet ache, a reminder of the cost of standing in your truth. One evening, working late on the project proposal, I came across the financial analysis I'd done with Chloe. The number was stark, representing years of lost opportunity. I looked at it, then at the complex, exciting proposal on my screen. They had stolen a path, but they hadn't stolen my ability to build. The storm had come, just as I'd anticipated. But I hadn't been swept away. I had faced it, exposed the lies, and stood my ground. And in the quiet space left behind, I was finally building something real, something strong, something that was truly and undeniably mine. The foundation was set, stone by stone, exactly where I chose to place it. And for the first time in a long time, I felt completely, confidently at peace.